Pop that one up.
I got it.
You got it.
Okay. Can everybody see my Arduinos? What are they and what can you use them for?
Yep.
Okay, good. All righty. Let me go with the program here. The title of this clinic is supposed to be what you can use them for. But I decided that it's probably more important to start off with what are Arduinos. A lot of you have heard the word, you know we use them on our trains in some cases, but most of you don't know really what they are. Well, here we go. There's several kinds of Arduinos. They come in several forms, but the two most popular are the Uno, which you can see here, and the Nano. And the Nano is much smaller, as you can see, as I compare them there in that picture. The Uno has got mounting holes in it, as you can see, and can easily be mounted to the underside of the layout. The Nano is smaller, and mounting of the Nano is a little bit more difficult. If you'd have wires soldered to it, and you can staple those wires to the underside of the layout and just let the Nano kind of hang there. Or if the Nano is in a circuit board, which you'll see later, you can mount the Nano circuit board. Both the Uno and the Nano do the same thing. They have the same power, they use the same programs, they can be connected to the same devices. The primary difference is the size and the way that you connect wires to them. On the Uno, the larger one, if you look on either side, there are these black strips, and you can just stick wires in there and they'll make contact. On the Nano, you've got to solder wires to the little holes that are along the sides. It's kind of hard to see in the picture of the holes. The Arduino is an electronic controller. It contains a small microcomputer IC and with the power and the capability to control just about any electrical device you can connect to it. Besides the microcomputer, it also contains a controller interface IC as well as
Hey,
a power.
John,
Yeah,
you got a blank screen up.
I know.
Okay.
I'll go back to that one. Beside the microcontroller, it also contains a interface IC, as well as a power adapter and other small components, which are used to complete the interface between the controller or a microcomputer to the device or devices you want to control. I'm not going to spend much time talking about programming that can get involved, other than to tell you what is involved. The Arduino is most easily programmed via the Arduino IDE, the Arduino Integrated Development Environment, or IDE, is a programming tool developed for non-programmers in mind. So those of you that think you can't program, the Arduino programming tool is designed for you. And of course, programmers can use it too. With some study, most folks can learn to program the Arduino to do simple tasks. There are, of course, limitations. With proper circuitry, you can connect an Arduino to your kitchen stove. It could turn the stove on or off, or even control the temperature. But the Arduino can't cook for you. You need to be able to do that. Just like your trains, the Arduino can control lights, it can control other devices on the set, but it's not going to run the train for you. In some instances, you could have it control the train, but you'd have to set up timing and a lot of things like that. I've used the Arduino to control lights, signals, turnouts, turntables, sound, traffic lights, railroad crossing lights, etc. In most cases, you can find just about anything that you want to know about programming the Arduino on the internet. In case you do want to program one, that's the best place to go. It's also possible to find many complete programs on the internet, some of which can be used for whatever it is you want to control. Minor changes may be necessary, but in most cases, you can study the program and learn exactly what needs to be changed and how. If you want to control some lights, a simple search such as Arduino programming for controlling of lights will get you to a program or two that with just a few changes will do directly what you want to do. However, make sure that you remove all old existing programs, if you have any, before you install new ones. Examples of what you can use Arduinos for. An Arduino can be used to control any lights on your layout. They can control signals, traffic lights, any kind of lights in or on buildings, or any other kind of light you can think of. Even though the Arduino can control lights, you have to understand that it doesn't do it by itself. In most cases, you have to have some way for the Arduino to tell where the train is. And we do that with something called sensors. The sensors will go under the track, tell the Arduino when a train passes it, and the Arduino then, through your program, will decide what light needs to be turned on or off or changed, etc. That sensor could also be a timer or a device to let the Arduino know that the train has arrived at a specific building. Just a minute, got to change my page here. Along with the signal device, you need a program for the Arduino to let it know what to do. There we go, there's a program. For example, when a train runs over a sensor at a specific place on the layout, the sensor will need to signal to the Arduino. The program running on the Arduino will receive this signal, determine where on the layout it came from, and then tell a specific signal light to change from green to red. This will all happen in a few thousandths of a second. Because of the speed at which things can happen, it's possible for one Arduino to control many signals on the layout. An Arduino can be used to control multiple turnouts. When properly connected and programmed, an Arduino can cause several turnouts to move a train to the main or to a storage track or to a track that's part of another system on your layout. That should be section of your layout. You can use an Arduino to cause certain scenery devices to operate, such as the train passes, such as a coal tipple or a crane. Either could be moved as required to service a car or cars in the train at the appropriate time. An example would be, like I said here, a coal tipple. You could have a sensor in the track that would determine when a particular car was in the right place for the coal tipple to operate. And then when you brought the car to that point, the Arduino would cause the coal tipple to do its thing. Arduinos can also be used to control a sound interface. The Arduino would be mounted on a circuit board. I think I had those pictures right here. There's an empty circuit board that I designed for sound. And here it is with all its components, or most of its components on it, along with a device that plays pre-recorded sounds. This, well, you can't see it very well, but the bottom center, let's talk about the Arduino first. The Nano is at the top left. It's the blue device that you can see there. And in the bottom center is the MP3 player. And a speaker would be connected to those connectors pointing down at the very bottom right. You know, doing one of these clinics is easier when you're in the room and can see people. But doing it over Zoom is a little bit more difficult because I can't really see your eyes and see what you're thinking. Anyhow, you can use an Arduino to cause certain scenery devices to operate as the train passes. So I already talked about that. An Arduino is connected to sensors that are mounted under the track at predetermined places, such as at either end of a station. When the sensors are activated, the Arduino will cause the sound device to play pre-recorded sounds, such as announcements, sounds of a train stopping, etc. The most complex, let me get to it, the most complex Arduino interface I ever created used 4 Arduinos. You can see 3 nanos there. They're vertical, they're blue. And then at the right, underneath the board that's sitting there, the large board is a Uno Arduino. So those 4 Arduinos do separate things. In this case, the board was designed specifically to control the trolley system that had turntables at each of its ends. And it was interfaced with a grade crossing, a station, and necessary signals. One of the 4 Arduinos was the master, and as such, it connected to many sensors, and it controlled the other 3 Arduinos. The master Arduino is the second from the right. The one on the far right controlled the turntables through the board that's sitting on top of it. The one on the left was a sound Arduino, or it was a regular Arduino, but it controlled sounds from that red board that it's sitting on. The master controlled the 3 other Arduinos, as well as stopping and starting the trolley at the station. Another Arduino controlled the 2 turntables. That's the one on the far right. The 3rd Arduino was responsible for signals and grade crossings. That's the second from the left. And the last Arduino controlled the trolley speed, direction, sound, and when to stop and start on the turntables. That's the one on the far left. Arduinos, I'm through reading, thank goodness. Arduinos are extremely flexible. They can, as I said earlier, can be used for just about anything, depending on the program and the type of sensors that they're connected to. It's hard to go into specifics simply because there's so many possibilities. I think what I've told you already may be enough information to get you thinking about what you might be able to use an Arduino for. If you have any questions, you can feel free to call me at any time or email me, and I'll be glad to try to answer whatever questions you have. For now, I'm pretty much near the end of the prepared part of the clinic. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Dan Crawford. I do have a question about what you have on the screen right now.
Okay.
Kind of a 2-part question. are those phone jacks? And if they are phone jacks, what are they used for?
They are phone jacks, but they're actually um, uh, um, Ethernet jacks, which are very close to phone jacks, but a little bit wider, and they have 8 terminals instead of the 6 normally found in a phone jack.
Okay.
They're used for the Ethernet, but this particular instance, Ethernet was the network was plugged into them because it controlled something. I built this about 5 years ago, and I've forgotten a lot of the details. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Is that the whole question?
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were phone jacks, but I see now Ethernet jacks. I just wondered, why, what purpose they had.
Yeah, that's what they are. Yeah. Any other
Thank you.
questions? Yeah. Any other questions?
Hey, John, this is Kevin Ellis. This is a good demo on Arduinos. I've actually used Arduinos